Buenos tardes, almost. Depends on where you are.
8 minutes,
Nice.
if that's what you're saying. Afternoon.
Welcome, world, to the Dream Show Live.
Excuse me. I had to burp. Now, y'all didn't want to see or hear that. Yeah, welcome to the show. We are here on a Thursday. A lot of moving stuff around. Isaac's moving around.
I'm
Things are
all
moving
over.
around. So we're just trying to get it going on days to keep it consistent and nail down what the new normal is going to be. And then we'll be in the middle of the PGF season and everything will go back to chaos. And then we'll talk about being chill and like settling back into the groove. And then we'll have another season.
Actually, I was just looking at my calendar. I don't think that chill moment's gonna happen this year.
Yeah. It's getting stretched out for you.
I mean, speaking of which, it's almost the end of the year. It's November. I mean, I've been in
That's
the
the
land of
year now.
eternal summer lately. So, like, I got here and
It's fall,
leaves
y'all.
are different colors. Yeah, it's cold. So,
Have that nice
yeah,
grappling hour hoodie on. Shouts out to
yeah,
to
to the
half
homies.
Esparza.
These are actually really comfortable. I will say that our community, there are their fair share of hoodies out there. And this is one of the ones that you get and you're like, oh, this is that nice, soft, a little bit thicker. Like when I throw on a hoodie, I don't want to feel the breeze through the hoodie. I'm putting on the hoodie because I'm cold.
Mm.
You feel me? So like this is a good quality, good move, Raph.
Yeah, and also another thing, like working in this thing, I don't know how much the industry or whatever stuff is, but Raf gave us or at least, I'm sure it was in everybody's, but there's a nice little note, along with it after the season. So I thought that was really cool. Just being again similar to what we were talking about earlier, is like it's nice to be like appreciated. And so somebody taking the time to handwrite you a note is super rare these days. So that was a nice touch also.
I was trying to think. There's very few people that I've received things from that have little handwritten notes on it. That is nice.
Yeah, it shows at least that much more care.
They had to go find a pen.
Yeah, and a little card, and then at least make up something for you.
Something to say that was
if it's genuine or whatever, that
how
felt good.
How much more valuable do you feel like it's gonna get over the next, I don't know, like 20 years on the, like, not even, people are like craftsmanship, like handcrafted, but not even that, just like the little bit of extra that makes it like a human touched it or drew it, or it makes it a little bit more exotic now because of that. Because I've been reading a lot of stuff about the AI bubble, so I don't know if you have.
Well, I mean, a little, but not like about the bubble necessarily or whatever. But it's definitely something I've thought about and is going to be interesting to see how it plays out for sure. But you already see people pushing back on a lot of the AI stuff in general, and maybe it gets better to the point that it's not as whatever now, or maybe that is,
How old were you during the .com bubble? Do you remember or know what I'm talking about?
Is that like 96?
Yeah, it was like the mid 90s. I was like 6 years old, so I've only read about it.
Yeah, I was like 13 in 96, 97. So that's the correct era.
Yeah.
So
were you pretty far removed from the internet during that time? Was that like dirt road time period?
Still, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We didn't have internet at home.
Because I remember when internet came to the house, and I know I had to be younger than 7. And then going back and reading about it and understanding it, because a lot of people have been comparing like what's been going on and all that space to the .com bubble, is that like, and I've talked to my dad a lot about this too, is that like, so in business, like what were people doing? And they would come up to you about websites for everything, because they were telling you back then, they were like, everybody's going to have a website. Haha, guess what? We do. But there was all kinds of stuff that they were selling on top of that was just fluff. And by the end of it, they were same thing in AI, where they were just pouring just millions and millions and millions into these websites, and 3 of them came out, And that was where we ended up with what was it, Elon and his boys with PayPal and like a few others, where it was mainly just they figured out commerce over the internet, and they
Yeah.
figured out how people were going to process payments and do things like that, and then all the rest of the fluff just went away overnight.
Well, I think that's part of that too, in a way, like you said, is people figuring out the thing. You
Yep.
know, early adopters using it, people getting into the hype cycle, everything gets elevated. People are investing, for lack of a better term, into
Oh yeah.
the whatever the thing is of in their way, you know, and then as it starts to get adopted more specifically or whatever, the I don't want to know the best maybe always win, but the one
Mm,
that stands
the
out, the
most
couple that stand out kind of
the
take
most
over.
efficient. The
Yeah,
most
I guess that's
efficient.
a lot of
Any
time.
organization
So
that is gonna like take over like that, or like end up, and like by organizations, like anything that is gonna like make it, has to have some form of like organization to it, to where it's
yeah, and
going
then
to
you'll see
have
that
like
other places will adopt that same strategy then, and then
uh,
that'll be where you'll see other things fall apart and go away, and then everybody's kind of doing this kind of thing. This is the way we do our, you know, we capture our funds or we do whatever to make sure this is the, you know, yeah. And so that's a lot of what you see with the crypto stuff too right now, is
oh
a
yeah.
lot of people fighting for control of potential markets and potential things that these systems, or I couldn't think of the right word for it, could do.
No, I feel what you're saying.
Um, so yeah, it's interesting, and I think, you know, for me, I'm not super tuned into it in the way that a lot of people probably are for a lot of the things that AI can do. I think it's very interesting, but I think again, like you said, there's going to be and we've been hearing this for a few years now. Not for my generation. We were all told to go to college, get your degree, or you're going to be a piece of shit, and nobody's going to like you. Now it's like trades or guys that people that can work with their hands, do electricians, do plumbing, do, you know, hands-on work like that is
Yeah.
going to be very high paying and skilled, because there's not going to be as many as there have been, because we got steered away from it by and large as a generation or so.
Well, it's
um,
that, and even it's like in the computer stuff, because I know from the electrical industry where I worked and like what I've grown up around is that there's a lot of things in that world that have automated,
mm,
but you still have to know how to do the job for two reasons. One, you got to teach the machine how to do it, and then two, when the machine don't work,
machine don't work.
when they look at you
What do
and go, "Hey
now?
man," they go, "Hey man, do you know how to hook this thing up?" You best know.
Eventually nobody will, though.
I mean, yeah. Do you think there's anybody out there that could just write off, put a horseshoe on a horse?
Anybody? Yeah, there's some people.
No, no, no. I know that there's some people. There's some people that know how to. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the most basic thing that people would be like, "Oh, people still do that." I mean, turn butter. People still know. There are people that know how to do it, but
Oh yeah, like
everybody
that's
don't know how to do
the
it.
general stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean, like general handyman kind of things or whatever. You know, those aren't as regular of a skill set maybe as they
yeah,
used to be for people. So it's an interesting thing. We've struggled even this year doing. Uh, we had some issues in our house that we had to get some work done on. You know, and it's been hard to get people just to come do the work, get bids from them, and we're like, hey, we're ready, like we
yeah,
can pay you for it, but it's just hard to find the guys that can do it, because the good guys are busy. They're, you know, whatever, and it's like, okay, well, thanks, you know, they're too busy for smaller stuff or whatever it is,
yeah,
so we try to
yeah.
go to the next guy, and then it's just been tough like that. So I think there is a lack of really skilled uh
Labor. Yeah,
tradesmen, you know,
yeah,
in at least
yeah,
in this area it feels like. And God knows I'm not that guy either. I didn't get taught it all at a young age very much. So I didn't, you know, it's just not really the thing, you know. I was
yeah.
a book nerd, despite what you might think. Uh,
I feel like you give off "I read a lot" vibes.
Yeah, I'm a pretty wild cat, I guess. I didn't living out in the country. There wasn't a lot of stuff to do. Like,
Yeah,
and again, pre-internet, there was no phones and things like that hardly. And if there was a phone, you had to stand there and talk like in the kitchen beside everybody or in the living room right there beside everybody listening or whatever. And I was like, that was weird.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
we got a cordless phone or whatever, but then daddy was like, nah, don't walk out of here with that. What you trying to hide? It's like, Jesus Christ. Is this the police state? You know, my bad, you know. Uh
Okay.
like you didn't have a TV in your own room or anything. None of that was real. There was one TV, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's
Okay.
like
I feel that.
you go outside and do what you could do, but then at a certain point, you know, just come in there and read stuff. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't everybody's experience. Uh, but
I mean, that sounds like a pretty classical, like '90s experience. Like that's, I mean, I didn't have my own TV till like, yeah, I got a PlayStation, and the only thing that I could do was that it could pick up the local, that like got the local kids channel or whatever that was like on the local news during the day.
yeah,
I could watch. There was that on there, and
PBS.
then yeah, it was PBS, and like I could play like my PlayStation that I had like 3 games for,
Mhm.
and it was like the TV was like this
Dude,
big.
that's what I'm saying. Like folks don't even know. It's like when back then, and this isn't like a talking bad about him or whatever. It's just like they were doing a good thing, for the kid, for me. And
Yeah,
then it was just like, oh wait, I didn't know that. But like when the PlayStation that used to come out, it would have those 3 like demo games with it.
yeah, yeah.
And so dad was like, hey, it's got 3 games with it too, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, and then it's like 5 minutes, you're done with that or whatever, and it's like, oh god, you know what I mean? It's just like these things
some of
that you know.
some of my favorite games. Do you remember when like Cheerios and like those used to come with like little computer games?
Sorta, but
It
not
was like
exactly.
you might have been a little older by then. Like I was
Like
like the
floppy
little kid.
disks? Or are you talking
Well,
about CD-ROM?
no, they were CD-ROMs. They were like CD-ROM games that like were little like characters from like there was one that checks. It was like Chex Man. That was like it was a character that was just like a piece of cereal that you played as.
I don't know why that was so
I,
funny.
I loved those games.
Such a piece of cereal. It's like, I don't know why that felt like a diss all of a sudden. He was just a piece of cereal. Damn, man. Chex Man was out here representing. Show some respect.
Put some respect on Chex Man.
Man, my guy was out here protecting and serving, I'm sure.
He was fighting. You had to like fight
Fiber.
aliens. Like it was
Yeah.
on a it was on a universe.
Making
Like
sure
it
you're
was
getting enough vitamins and shit.
so. I don't know, man. I think that either way it goes, I know that this time of year, which seems to be almost all times of year, can be this time of year, but it's PGF season and it's
Oh,
PGF qualifier season. And what I mean by that is like we've had
literally.
PGF qualifier season every type of year. So I can't even say this time of year it feels like. It's like, well, this time now it's PGF qualifier season
For
for
the 2026
season.
PGF season. Um, that's cool. I think we're at a point now where the name the season is going to be not a thing anymore. Season 8,
Yeah.
season 9, season 10, or whatever. We're going to be looking at
Yeah.
2026 season. The
Yeah.
2027 season. We're looking at one season a year. I think is what has been discussed so far.
Yeah.
And then as things grow, maybe making a longer season in the thing. So, did you hear that?
I thought you had gotten a dog.
It was like a dinosaur or something. It was weird. Sorry.
So
But
we're
yeah,
going
so
to that
so
yearly
we're heading
season
into the
model.
yearly season. So this will kind of be qualifying season over the course of the future for now,
Yeah.
based on how the season's going to start. This gives us the time frame that we need. At a certain point, yeah, I think you're right. Qualifying will be basically all the time in a way, as guys develop and things like that. The qualifiers may play less of a role in some of the things that they have than they have previously. I think the qualifiers are always going to be a part of it for each individual team to maybe locate talents and have a
Well,
chance to get eyes on them and let them get games in and things like that.
that's one thing that that I know that they've stood behind and that we've gone is that every single season there's always been a pathway in that was just off your merit. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
just got in there and dogged it out and did the thing, you
Mm-hmm.
could get into the season. And I think that's one thing that does set us apart from a large majority of the shows and things that are out there is that like there is the what does Egghead call it the Rudy route.
Mm. Yep. Yep. And it's true, and it does happen, and guys get in and they show out. Often from those qualifiers. We had several guys this past season that had came through on different qualifying events that made a name for themselves and are now, slowly climbing the ranks. And everybody's like grappling lexicon or whatever. They're starting to know their names a lot more, and nobody knew who they were as much unless they were your homie or like you were in their local scene. And that's what a lot of that is too, is like there's so many people out there that are studs and could just get down at any weight class locally, but you just probably don't know them because they don't promote themselves well enough yet, or they haven't been promoted to you well enough yet, or done a show for you. You know what I mean? And that you've seen in some way. So when they break onto the major scene, then people start to know that, oh wow, this guy's really good, but they'd always been really good. You just didn't know him yet, kind of deal. So I think that's one of the best aspects of the qualifiers, because guys that don't even win qualifiers become guys sometimes because they they're dogs, and you can see that they're going to perform the way that the league wants them to perform, even though they didn't win today. You got to get over that shit sometimes. You can't win every day. And in the PGF, sometimes you're going to lose a match in a day or maybe a couple matches in a day, but it's a long season and there's no reason to let that like kill your spirit the way that it kind of does a lot of guys. It seems like traditionally the way that matches and stuff have to go for people, where you only get so many times. You only get maybe a chance every 6 months at something meaningful or a really good match with somebody. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So this could allow for people to treat it a little differently, hopefully too.
Well, we all like to see the person that like there's nobody that doesn't like to see the person that like takes a loss or takes a hard performance or takes something like that and then turns around and like makes something out of it and like comes back on the next one or on the thing, and it lets us see it in a much quicker turnaround, like you're saying. It's like it lets us see it. You don't have to wait 2 years to see the guy of how's he gonna react and how's it gonna it's like when I personally I enjoy watching, and I'm a bigger fan of a champion or somebody who is on top per se, if I've seen how they react to loss or react to like hardship, because watching somebody just purely dominate, like, let's be honest, it can be kind of yeah.
Yeah, there's an element of that, at least now for me too, where when someone's just like on a run and they're being very dominant, it's cool for them and it's a great thing, but history's shown that it's gonna come to an end at some point for everybody, and then there's the ones that make it and stay at that upper echelon throughout all the time, even once they get done kind of competing and things like that. People still hold them at that upper like echelon kind of thing. But yeah, it's gonna be cycles in general, and I think being so involved with the baseball, softball stuff with the kids a lot is really giving me a lot of perspective in a way too, and trying to use some of the way that they talk about that in the way that we could talk about how grappling is and jiu-jitsu or the sport of this thing is too. Is like this is built on failure too. Like people talk about baseball game, but so is jiu-jitsu is really built around failure a lot. Like going out there and winning a bunch and being able to just manhandle people or like being the biggest and the strongest all the time doesn't really teach as much. So it's nice to win. It's nice to do all that stuff and dominate or whatever it is too. Is that, but when you really get the best lessons is when you've lost and you've had to struggle for it and you missed the opportunity, or you had a good chance at it and you still lost because the game's just that way. It just is. They're fighting you back. They had their best day on a day that you also had your best day, and it was just a little bit better, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you suck. That doesn't mean they're even better than you necessarily, but it can be a permanent state if you let it be, right? How often would you see this pitcher versus, the course of your career? If he's in somebody that you'll see a bunch of times, yeah, he got me one time, or, we'll see each other 3 times in this game, 2 times in this game. So I'll get another chance at him later today, so that's the thing we got to see with this PGF stuff too, is look, we'll get another shot at it. We'll get another shot at it, hopefully in the playoffs. If not, then there'll be another season. And then in that season, I will have taken the time to improve myself and get the opportunity to run this back again, hopefully. And when I do, that's when I'm going to prove that I'm actually better, is by staying in there and getting better over time. And that's how you do that part. And sometimes you got to get smashed to understand what that is. And then you get the rub, so to say, we'll call it, you get to see what that feels like. And you're like, oh, there's another level. I can do that. I have to now rise to that level if I want to be that person. Sometimes you don't know that there is another level until somebody shows you.
Feel it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've maxed out a lot of times. Not saying that even you're the best in the world or whatever at that point, but you're just, you don't
the best in the room or the best in the area.
A lot
the area. Yeah.
Go in somewhere and somebody just thoroughly dominates you with skill, not just necessarily physicality,
which feels different.
Also, yes, they both suck. But when I get beat up with skill, it feels worse to me now than if a guy just out physicals me.
When I get beat up with skill, it feels worse because it feels like there's no way
they're better.
There's no way to stop it.
So you're better.
When you're beating me up physically, I know that if I can get ahead of you skill wise, or you're gonna get tired. Yeah. One of those two things is gonna make this stop.
Yep.
When somebody's beating you up with skill, you're sitting there going, I don't know how to make this stop.
You're just gonna get beat for a longer time.
It's just gonna keep going.
And the harder you fight, the worse you get beat. Then
that's where you end up sitting there, and that's where boring jiu-jitsu comes into play. They're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here to make it stop happening.
If you don't do anything, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
That's the thing. If I'm not fighting you, you don't really get many opportunities to catch me. And so it requires both people to be fighting with that same spirit in order for the game to be
even
true
occurring. Yeah.
Right. The resistance is what makes things work.
Yeah.
That's what the submission is a resistance that got something caught or whatever it is. You resisted the move, and then you tap because you accepted it.
Or because the continuance of the resistance would break something, kill something, yada yada yada.
You accepted
the next
the technique. If you resist it, you're gonna get messed up.
Yeah.
Potentially killed even. Arm broken, leg, whatever. You posted wrong, you drilled on your head, you landed, whatever. It could be a regular submission or anything. Give up the sweep, maybe you don't get submitted 75% of the time that you have been getting submitted. But now you got to fight from the bottom, and you don't know how to do that. So that's part of what you learn sometimes, getting put on the bottom. Is that, I got to fight from the bottom, or sometimes I got to fight from the top. Like we had a guy that we saw, one of our blue belts was going up against, and his smooth comp was like 40 something wins at like blue belt or whatever. And my dude's like a pretty new blue belt. And it's like, damn, this man, this is like a master's guy too. So he's like, he just puts in work. It's not like super dangerous and deadly or whatever, but it's just like he's got reps.
Yeah, he's been doing it a lot.
Yeah. So well, with that, the guy had a bunch of videos of himself online, and so we saw what he was doing. He pulled guard on everybody and did stuff. So I was like, hey, you just pull guard on him then. And
Take
so
him
threw him off. You know, the dude was still a little bit
put him
better.
on top.
He ended
Yeah.
up winning still, but it did throw him off for a bit because, you know, my guy got a sweep, got some looks at some stuff from the bottom, you know, and then made him have to play from there. And you can see that it was not as easy as it would have been probably had he gotten pulled straight into his game. Right. So that was a good experience for us and for my dude too, to be like, look, you know, that was smart instead of just like letting somebody play right into their game, even though, you know, that's not necessarily where you wanted to be either.
Yeah.
It was still better than going right into where
Right
they're the
into what
best at.
they're the
We
best at.
know
Yeah.
that he's very good here. We've seen him beat multiple dudes that are big and strong and everything from
Yeah.
right here too. So like,
Yeah.
let's avoid that. What's the best way? Because he's pulling guard when he's standing, or he's gonna get into some tangle and pull into it or whatever. So it's like, you just pull it.
Yeah. I saw that this past weekend that I was at EBI in Monterey, and I was pretty excited about that card because it was a bunch of the young cats that are like, and I say young cats, but they're like the young guys that have been there for a little while. And like who I'm thinking of specifically is Kevin Buring. Was like he was one of my favorites going into that. And then I watched it where everybody's kind of like learned his like entry into the legs and stuff, and they were trying to stay so far away from it to where like you saw a couple guys that are pretty seasoned guys like get up and try to run. He caught a few guys in his what I would call like his specific plays and games. And so it's like it's crazy how that happens and the development that it pushes through the sport as guys start to experience that in, you know, just watching them like understand and go, okay, there's the game. I'm going nowhere near that game. And so until that guy gets another funnel or another block on the other side, their game has to almost totally evolve and change. Like I saw him do some stuff that I've never seen it do.
So this would be a good example of some of that stuff too. And this isn't to say anything about Kevin at all.
No, yeah.
He's been
None of that was
crushing people for a long time with those specific kinds of games. But you've seen this to where is that where he'll be really dominant. He'll hit a little bit of a block. It kind of gets figured out or whatever. Then he'll go on another run after a little while. You know, bop. His leg game obviously pretty elite. Everybody knows that. They look to avoid it or whatever. But if you've seen his run over the last year and a half, maybe he's been choking a lot of people. He's been getting on their neck and finishing a ton of chokes and things like that because the people have been trying to avoid going into those leg entanglements, which has been opening up that other game for him that he's now aware of. When as he was younger in the game, he was maybe not that he wasn't aware of it. He just had an A game. And it was very
had to go
no
to the
reason
other
to
thing.
go to the next thing, really. So now he was kind of pushed to have to go to the next thing. And now at that elite level, he's still kind of working out those systems, it feels like, to where he's right there with everybody. And once he gets that, like you said, once that middle ground of where those transitions exist gets fully like developed, he's gonna be the best guy in the world.
Oh yeah, that's like one of the crazy like transitions that I've seen happen from like that specific game is like guys that are going from the honey hole, and when the guy that's in the honey hole goes to escape like everybody does, like taking that leg out, instead of chasing it and trying to get it back, they're starting to turn the other way and take the back. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Like they just took the circle and flipped it over. And we're like, oh, it's over here.
That's it. Right. And it's a series of those kinds of things over and over. And it feels wrong sometimes because something's upside down from where it should be normally or the way that you learned it traditionally or however it is. But it's like, yeah, it's all the same. Gravity's just different in this way, or the plane has turned over now, but the same movements are true.
It's like, is this an infinity symbol this way or is it an 8 this way? Well, it's the same thing.
That's what it is. It's that whole like what we see as like an atom or a nucleus or whatever you want to think of, where the spirals and all that stuff. That's what jujitsu is, and I think that's what everything is. But that's a different subject and topic for another kind of day. But it's true. You know, I've seen that stuff come and go, and the systems come and go, and things that are trendy. You know, not necessarily trendy for bad reasons, but it's trendy because it's working. Then people start trying to work against what's working, And so then that trending move goes away because now everybody's figured it out. Now there's the next generation that are doing these things, and it's like, oh, well, that's not right. And it's like, well, it's not right traditionally, but it's right to counter the things that have been done traditionally more, and so that's the new cycle you have to go into and figure out how to blend whatever the system is that you have that you like into whatever these people are doing, because otherwise you can't pull them in. Otherwise you can't get them down. If you can't play their game at least enough to get them into your game.
Play your game.
And so that's the whole thing at a certain point. Like there's guys for sure that just thoroughly dominate me at this point now because I don't have the whole game like I used to have all the time, rolling every day, staying up on everything, all that hard stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I see where they're going now. When you make this particular move set that used to work all the time, now everybody's going for this arm clamp series here, whereas that was a pretty low percentage choice.
Yeah.
Years ago, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's like it was a thing, but only the really good guys at stuff did that then,
This is a total side note, but the eco games and like playing in the like those type of situational drilling type things. I've been training with Johnny.
Say situational drilling. Don't you call eco dynamics situational sparring on this live stream?
Was that did I slight one against? I'm sorry.
Not me. I just wanted to say it again so that way maybe the algorithms would pick up some of those buzzwords and get the folks in here to argue about us not knowing anything.
I got you. Well, Johnny's been on that kick ever since I met him down there, and when we've been
Johnny Hernandez at Cancun.
Yeah. We've been down there and we've been going in ways where like you start at such a basic little game, like even like the leg locks, this has helped me. And it's so like dumb and like elementary, but it's like a little like foot game that you play where like two people sit across from each other. And this is just like one example. And the whole goal is to get both your feet between their feet. And that's it. That's the only game. And like, you just sit there the whole time doing this and you don't realize like what that skill of being able to like pummel and stuff, that's all of it. That's the beginning of your leg lock game.
So we do this thing where you're standing right with an over and an under, and you battle for double underhooks, right?
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Strange. So
I know.
But I bet less people do that than do the one you just described.
Yeah. I agree.
That's what I say. That's the cycle that we're in right now. As a whole, the competition scene is more towards that leg pummeling. Upper body pummeling is coming back around. You see guys pinning a lot more.
Well, and what we've gotten to in that is that like the two blend is that like you're trying to do the same thing. Like it's like that's when you're talking about. Now we're talking about guard passing. Is that like if I can pummel to the inside from top and then pummel both double unders as I'm getting in. Or go into DMs and use that
like
to get
butterfly mount with double unders.
Yeah. That's the same thing as butterfly guard with double unders.
But now you're flat on your back, and I got gravity on my side too.
Yeah, but if I'm in double unders with that, I can also access your legs because I have full access to the core of your body, which is the whole point. Yeah, no, I will say that we have overcomplicated everything, but it also that doesn't mean that it's not complicated.
You can't sell it if it's simple.
Yeah, I think you're right in why it is, but why can't you sell it?
People
why
don't believe
people
you.
Want to buy simple?
They don't believe you.
Man, that's a good one.
Can't be real.
It can't be that simple.
It can't be. It has to have these things and these steps, and it needs to take whatever. But and so I don't know. That's like I don't know. Maybe it can't be, unless you've also spent your time in another field, understanding like kinesiology and I guess what people call them biomechanics and things like that these days of how the body moves and the optimal situations and planes and stuff like that, because it's just human movement. It's all it is. It's just moving. And then depending on what you're doing, certain things are better or worse. But there's always certain things that are not good for the human body to be doing.
Which is essentially all of sports.
Right.
That's yeah.
So it's just being athletic. Being more athletic, you'll be better at jiu-jitsu probably.
I mean,
Now,
there's
you will not be the best information guy, maybe. You'll be the best competitor, though. And that's another thing that people do not understand about this.
that's a different yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it a bunch or whatever, but like, you don't see the head coaches out there lining up, with their wide
Yeah,
receivers, D'ing
yeah.
them up or opposite,
But
burning their DBs and stuff like that.
but they do have like the head coach may not be because the head coach is the 30,000 foot view guy, but he does have guys that are
Bought in.
specific. Well, that are specific. Like your positional coaches a lot of times in football, they were a running back or they were a wide receiver. Or
Mm-hmm,
they were because
mm-hmm,
they can speak the lingo.
mm-hmm.
They know what I'm asking you to do and like how to specifically move your body and do
Mm-hmm.
those things. So I do think that it can get specific, but I think people get lost in the specifics
They
because they
can.
zoom too far into the fractal.
When you're playing a certain game, then you need to be very specific
Yeah.
because that game is going to have a lot of variability depending on what the rules are, things you can and can't do, certain things. But then also, there's going to be certain things that people believe are true that just because everybody else has done it this way, that somebody's going to come out and innovate. And it's like, oh, wow, you didn't know you could do that, because it just hadn't fell into the conventional wisdom. Like,
Well, and it's like in the eco games
and
type.
what's a running back now?
Oh, it's totally different than what it was 20, 15, 30 years ago. I
Right.
mean, 10 years ago.
Right. And then the forward pass? What's a quarterback now?
Yeah.
Versus 20 years ago. And can you run a triple option anywhere now? High school,
On
maybe above high school.
who knows?
You know what I'm
I
saying? Just because of the speed of the overall game, just because how
just how
fast and
fast
how
everybody is.
sophisticated everything
Yeah.
is now.
Now
Right?
you have linebackers that are the same size that they were 10 years ago, but now they
They're
run just
4-4.
as fast as you. Yeah.
And they study and they got film on
Yeah.
all this. See,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's like the whole, it's just, it's just interesting to me like that. Cause again, you're still doing a lot of the same stuff, but at a certain point, you look at different metrics maybe to see what's successful or not. And I'm interested to see when jiu-jitsu really gets into that avenue of training more and not so much of the mysticism and you gotta, be able to kick everybody's ass to be good.
Yeah, and I think too, like the one thing that I've learned through like majority of my training being in those eco games or whatever has been that like you kind of feel like you suck the whole time you're doing it because you're
Mhm.
playing in one position, and a lot of times I'm playing like I'm Johnny's the main guy I'm training with, so like he's a little bit better than I am, and so it's like one of those things that I'm starting in his strong game, starting here playing this, and then I get into a room though, and I get into the same scenarios, and I'm like, oh wow, this made it way easier to do XYZ because it's just seeing the patterns and putting it in the thing and in multiple different scenarios. So it's
Yes.
like,
And to circle this back into what we were talking about, I was talking to an athlete today who is coming to Alabama for the qualifier this Saturday in Opelika at Cage Fit.
twisters.
The Alabama Twisters seminar, or not seminar, the
Yeah,
qualifier,
the
and there's gonna,
qualifier.
kids matches and things like that are gonna be on there too. Also trying to build that part of the community and stuff up. But I was speaking to him about it, and he's previously tried to qualify before. So this could be for anybody that's out there potentially considering a qualifier event, or you want to make it to the PGF. There's been a framework for this thing that it's been different, and even myself coming into this, I was like, this much as everybody, I kind of hated it. The way, like, for my game, it's like it's not built for this. Like, this isn't good jujitsu. This is making me do stuff that I shouldn't do. That I should, blah blah blah, all those things. Yes, that is correct. This is not the best jujitsu guy show. It's not for that. This is not even jujitsu per se. This is a game that you play that you can use jujitsu in order to win and dominate. But there's also other things you could use, grappling styles and strategy. But it's not just jujitsu. Just jujitsu is probably not the best for this style because it's slower and methodical and often could take more than the 6 minutes to win it. So it's not an indication of who's the very best. And if you come out here trying to win the positional game, you're going to lose draws to guys as this guy had previously. You're going to lose a draw to a guy that you're way better than because you want to show positionally that you're better than him rather than risk kind of getting caught. So go out there and try to get them. And if you lose that way, you still earn more credit going forward than you would dominating somebody positionally and not letting any action get going.
Just pinning somebody doesn't win it.
It's great for you as a self-defense, jiu-jitsu guy, MMA, lots of other things, wrestling, things like that. But it's not going to win in the PGF, and it's definitely not going to get you through a qualifier into the season unless you submit everybody somehow.
If you're smashing, pinning, taking the back and choking them,
that's
superb.
Different. Primo, right? That's great. Right. Just kind of hanging out in their half guard for 3 minutes at a time to kind of ride the clock out because that's the strategy. Then you're not going to make it. And look, I say that again because as someone who came up in a certain era of MMA, that was the coaching strategy, was to get in there to win time, to win rounds, to win the points and win the fight safely without having to get beat up because you're not making enough money for that. Right. So there's an element of that's still true. But with this, you're not going to get kicked in the head or hit in the head, knocked out, all those kinds of things. It's just a submission. You have to tap, baby, and then you get to move on and get some get back. Like, be ready to go get some get back because it's double elimination. Pretty much all qualifiers are going to be double elimination. That is up to the individual teams when they have their qualifier, if they would like to have it as double elimination or not. But we as a league prefer that if possible, because again, a guy could have one match where he's like selling out for something and he gets caught, or he didn't go hard enough perhaps in that one moment because he thought something else, and now he gets a chance to show who he is. And it's a true double elimination,
right?
Like, you can win back through. You lose your very first match, you can win back through, and if that other guy is there, get him. You got to beat him twice though.
Yeah.
Got to beat him twice. Yeah. That's the thing. The other guy, he's only got to beat you one more time out of
because he's already
done it once. Yeah, that's right. So
if he wins again, wow, we don't need to see it.
We don't need to see it a third time because he's beat you 2 out of those 3. But if you beat him, you got to beat him at least one more time to be that champion. But if you're a guy who can win through that and get up there, and maybe you don't win, I think that's a lot. I think that's going to say a lot for your character and for who you could be for the PGF as an athlete.
And showing the heart and showing the things. I mean, like, not throwing a nod towards the PGF athletes a little bit on like the EBI this weekend. JJ was there, and JJ was he came in and he had a rough first match, and then he got back on how they do like the special match where, like, you know, they have a extra guy there, and then whoever wants it out of can get one. They gave JJ that one, and I watched JJ go through a brutal truck series and make it all the way back, and he toughed it out or whatever and made it to the end, and was able to catch a choke on Manning, Manning put on a great showing of coming back and running what he ran. And watching that was one of those things, like with what we're talking about, is like the athletes that are in now, I love to be able to see that, and you love to be able to give that opportunity at these qualifiers and at these things to get that guy that'll run it, run it again, because that was the core of it when we were doing this in the beginning, right? Like, we were just a bunch of people that just wanted to run it.
Yep. Have fun, do jiu-jitsu often, get many reps, see if you can choke people instead of just go for breaks, maybe, because it's cooler. But maybe not. Maybe you just get a bunch of breaks and then you still win because you can just break everybody.
Because of our man, the Elbow Genie. I rolled with him 2 nights ago.
How was that?
Oh, man. It was you remember the thing we were talking about that went viral and we shared in the group of the guy getting choked out in side control? Okay. I was in half guard. and he was doing this thing that I think he said Wagner Rocha showed him this detail. I don't know. All I know is that when he was doing it and as he was passing my guard, I was like, oh, this is kind of like that fake thing I saw on the internet. And then I felt my like head kind of tingling and I was like, oh no, I should fix this. And I started to get out. I was like, I didn't think you could put me to sleep there. And he's like, oh no, yeah, I put people to sleep there all the time. I was like, oh my God.
Starts to get a little dark.
Yeah. So it turns out the elbow genie can do more than just break your elbow.
Yeah. I heard he was pretty good. I've never got a chance to roll with him, but I've heard by all accounts, he's very good. He's fun. Nice guy.
That's, man, the PGF, one of the greatest things has been that like all the veterans of the PGF, like everybody is cool. Like everybody is in kind of this same thought process of like what we're talking about, of like trying to run it and trying to just get the reps and trying to get do the thing. Like it's never been anybody that's necessarily, you know, there's been the characters here and there, but like nobody that's ever like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. It's like,
there's some of you busters out there. Y'all know who you are. There's some of you busters.
That's what I said. There's some of these people, but like it's obvious when you do.
Talking to you.
It's obvious when you do. From within the community, it's obvious when you're not down for it.
If you're not
down to just run it. And I think that that's something that has stayed pure throughout the seasons, no matter what's changed, is that there's never been a time that if you know what's up, you don't see it. And so we can't give you anything.
I figured out how to connect my phone to it. Easily.
But so yeah, this weekend there's a qualifier in Opelika. If you haven't registered,
that's right by Auburn. If you don't know that,
yeah. If you don't know where it is, it's in East Alabama. It's right over there
by next Columbus,
to Auburn,
Georgia.
Auburn University. Columbus, Georgia is like 20 minutes away. It's a nice little spot that y'all can come out.
Little day trip.
Yeah, it's at Cage Fit Academy, and you can register. And then I saw something online too. Brandon's teaching a seminar in Birmingham for the Twisters in the Twisters Club. If you're a member of their club, you can join it over there on their Instagram and go check out BMAC as he teaches a seminar in Birmingham on Sunday. So
I'll be there Saturday as well.
I'll be there
anyone
Saturday.
Interested, I'll be doing the thing. I should be announcing the walkouts and things like that, depending on, you know, how the scene looks. I don't know exactly how that'll be, but I'll be there doing that and other things, hanging out and kicking it.
You'll be signing autographs, right?
Yeah, I'll be shaking babies and kissing hands, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we got to have a Bobby Botham booth when we go to these things.
Let's go. I'll sit there and get your little 5x7 personalized by your boy. Come on.
We need to just like get a book that has nothing written in it, but just has like a killer cover. And just with the PGF qualifying season will be brought to you by the book tour of the dream.
There you go. I'm ready. Where's my book at? Grappling with Parenthood.
Oh, okay. You got a book.
You don't remember my book?
Oh, your book from the last one.
We're still working on the publishings.
Okay.
And finding the right, you know, the distributor. But yeah, we got some
okay, we got some words.
You know.
Hey, we need to start working on that audio version.
Isaac, there was once a time when jiu-jitsu was very pure. And then it was the PGF. Sorry. Yeah. No, that's but that'd be fun. Yeah. Definitely come out, come hang out, come see us. That's part of what we want to do here at the PGF. Be the vibes, be the community things. Come out and hang out, support your favorite team. This is the Alabama Twisters qualifier, but these guys, any of them could potentially end up in or on the Philadelphia team for the Phenoms, in the Vegas team for the Kings. Who knows? We may even select one of you guys for the Kentucky Hollers. I don't know if I want to qualify a person or not, but maybe you impress me enough. We'll throw you out there and get you a holler T-shirt or something like that. Tune in. It's gonna be good, boy.
And we will be live. That is going to be streamed, so you will be able to find that here on YouTube.
And I'm being serious. I'll be there. I'm gonna be handing out some hollers merch. We're gonna from the U streetwear collection.
From the youth.
The UPGF streetwear collection. Also, you can get.
How do I get one of those T-shirts?
We the ones.
We don't mind.
Let's go. The UPGF. That's Miggy, myself, and Wallow in here. So yeah, check out Wallow J on his Instagram. He'll get you the link to the actual stuff. I don't really have that handy, but definitely gonna bring, a little bit of Hollers merch over there to pass out to anybody that's in the periphery.
Then come
I just
on
want to
out.
end it with that big word.